Hi, I'm Coach Landry, and the topic is powerful ways we can ease anxiety and depression. Okay, there are four major ways I personally believe, after looking at studies and how we've handled anxiety and depression, that we can work on these things. Most of the scientific literature about treating anxiety and depression is rooted in either cognitive behavior perspective or pharmacological one. Pharmacological one obviously is way overused, and despite many advances, sometimes these methods aren't enough or they're just not the right for you. So a certain percentage of men and women will not benefit from any kind of CBT or medication, or the combination of the two. Even those who do make progress with one of the standard treatments still stand a good chance of relapse. So I'm going to talk about some things, and this is going to be a little bit lengthy, but I'm going to talk about some things that are really just going to help you move in a different direction. And maybe if you're taking, you're doing the pharmacological way or you're doing some CBT, it's important that, maybe you put something else on top of it to get even better results than you're currently getting. So some type of, framework, a belief in some order or power greater than ourselves often can help us maintain hope even when the road is long, right? Through faith, through something we believe in, putting your time into an animal shelter, we are able to hold a strong belief that positive change occurs. It's not just wishful thinking. You create the change that you want, I believe. And one of the most important things, I try to do in my first sessions with new clients is to offer hope. Now, people need the expectation that their lives can be better. Otherwise, what incentive is there to follow through the necessity and often difficult work ahead, right? I also routinely tell new clients that different things work for different people and that I'm committed to doing what works for them. If one approach doesn't work, we'll find another one. Shakespeare once wrote, "The miserable have no other medicine but only hope." Fortunately, in our day and age, we do have medicine as well as psychological treatments, but hope will always be a necessary partner. We don't always have access to pharmacological things. We don't always have access to or the financial means to meet a therapist on a weekly or 2 or 3 weekly basis and whatnot. So these are things that help you get through other stuff. Number two, you're open to new ways of handling anxiety and depression. Sadly, sometimes people who need help the most are often the ones whom treatment fails with. It's only partially effective. Then what, right? So what if you already put forth your best effort with cognitive behavioral therapy, anger management? You tried several medications with little success. Is there any chance left for improvement? Of course there is. First of all, know the people who love you and keep yourself around them. Even if it's an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend, if you messed up with them and you're just been, a wuss to go back and get back in their life and be in their circle but they made you feel so good, get back in there. If your mom or dad is just your best friend, spend more time around them. Please don't ever give up, okay? You should do everything in your power to seek a life free from crippling of fear and anxiety and depression, but sometimes you also have to practice acceptance and realize you can't win the fight alone. For some people, this translates into some type of prayer or one of those things, but keep in mind, prayer can take many forms. It can involve sitting silently in nature. It can be called meditation instead of praying. Caring for a pet, listening to lovely music, meditating, like I said, reading inspirational books, writing in a journal. These are all forms of you communicating with yourself in a clean, happy, optimistic way. And the list is endless, right? I mean, there's no right or wrong way to be a better person yourself. In essence, anything that allows us to pause and reflect on what is central to us in our lives and is a form of you reaching out to yourself. It's a if a miracle hasn't taken place in your life, don't despair. It certainly doesn't mean you haven't, prayed enough, meditated enough, been spiritual enough. It may simply be for reasons that you don't understand. The timing isn't right, at least not yet, right? Probably more common is this scenario. A miracle does not occur, but through your spiritual practices, your beliefs, or your meditation on getting central with yourself, you're better able to cope with anxiety or depression. You don't view it in the same way, and it doesn't have the same negative hold on you, right? The situation hasn't changed, but the way you view it has. Remember what I always say? If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, look at it different. If you can't look at it different, it's time to let it go. So because your relationship with symptoms have changed, there may not be as intense before. This in itself can be a miracle. Miracles sometimes are very small. Don't think of miracles as Jesus parting the Red Sea. Moses parting the Red Sea and Jesus walking on water. Wow, I almost got that wrong, didn't I? Number 3, your attitude and behaviors naturally evolve in a positive direction. Note that by engaging in spiritual practices, whether it's praying, meditating, attending church service, spending time in nature, looking at the stars, positive changes in your attitude and behaviors that will help you fight against anxiety and depression. Remember, depression is anger turned inward, and anxiety is fear that has not been conquered. So other chances may occur. You may realize that you don't have to be perfect to be loved. You may remember an old saying, God doesn't make junk. I heard one time. Or perhaps you realize your own innate goodness, your good nature. In reality, you don't need to change so much as you need to clear away the confusion. I call it trimming the fat and the gristle from your life. Okay, so I'm not advocating for a particular religion, spiritual approach. It's whatever works. The whole point is find something that works for you. Number 4, the way you see the problem changes. When you view your life as having a spiritual path, problems are not obstacles, but instead opportunities for growth and learning. Okay? So if you don't learn from something, grow. If you don't grow from it, learn. Okay? So you begin to believe that you are right where you need to be at any given moment. Now, you might be someone who believes in fate, you might believe in choice. I personally believe in choice. I don't expect you to jump up and down in joy when you experience setbacks or encounters and difficulties, but if your initial gut reaction of getting angry about the problem or feeling disappointed, you can step back and ask yourself, what can I learn here? How can I grow? And what opportunities are hidden behind this obstacle? So what do you think? Have you used some type of spiritual practice in the past to help you in a path? Help you cope with anxiety and depression? I'm going to do a segment just about anxiety and depression, but this segment's how to help you, find a different path besides medicine and therapy. As a life coach, I want all options open to you, not just the one that the info commercials and that advertisements and marketing tell you need to do. Okay? So if you found this information helpful and you want to book a session, contact me via the email below. And if you found this information of value, show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal donation link below. And I will talk to you soon.